Now we're going to talk about layers. Layers is one of those things in SketchUp that is very important to use and understand. It's also a common theme that's in a lot of other drafting software or 3D modeling software, and even like Photoshop and different video editing programs, the concept of having layers. The concept of having layers is basically you have a bunch of different things that are occupying a similar space, but you can turn them on and off independently of each other. So you don't have to have everything on at one time. You can have stuff that's hidden or invisible, and it's not interfering with your model, or when you're trying to do detailed work or move around the model, it's not causing the computer to lag out or slow down. You're not accidentally selecting stuff or moving it or changing something that you don't want to change because you have it turned invisible. So with this, it makes it a very, very handy tool for doing any sort of modeling, and it's especially critical when you're doing anything that's large modeling, like what we're going to be doing here. So to use layers, the first thing we have to do is turn layers on. So we go up to Window, and we go to Layers. This will open up a new dialog box. This is our Layers dialog box. This box will list all of the layers that are currently in our model. Now we only have the one that's in the model right now, and that's layer 0. Every model is going to start with layer 0. It also has a dot next to it. This dot indicates that it is the current layer. So it's the one that we are currently working with and manipulating. We can change that to different ones so that we can work with different ones. But usually I use layers just to turn them visible or invisible. I don't mess with the dot too often, but it is there. So to create a layer, all we have to do is hit the plus sign, and we'll get a new layer. Now, I would generally name this something that made sense for that layer. So if it was a bunch of trees, it would be trees, or a specific area, or a house, or landscape, whatever it is. For this one, the only thing in the model right now is that person, so I'll just name this one person. Okay, so now I have the layer 0 and the layer person. They are both visible, and layer 0 is my current layer. If I click over to here, now person is my current layer. Doesn't really change much. I usually just leave that one on layer 0 and don't mess with it. But the visibility and invisibility is what I play with. So if I uncheck visible, now the person layer is invisible and layer 0 is visible. Nothing right now is on layer person, so nothing actually happened in the model. It turned a layer invisible that doesn't have anything. But if we add stuff to that layer, then it would happen. So to add things to a layer, what you have to do is find the object, select it. So if it's already a group or a component, you just left click to select it, or you could drag a window around it if it was other pieces, edges and surfaces. And we right click on it, go to Entity Info, the top option, and from here we can see what layer this currently is in, and with the drop down box, if there's more than one layer available, we can drop down, see the layer, and assign them to that layer. So just by doing that, we have now changed this object being from layer 0 to layer person. So now we can close this, and if we turn, we don't even have to have him selected. If we turn the invisible, uncheck that, now he disappears. So if we have other stuff in the model, so we just draw another square or a cube, and we turn him visible or invisible, it doesn't affect the stuff that's in the model. So I can maneuver this block around and it doesn't do anything. He's not in my way. I'm not accidentally clicking on him where he's still there. It's just a tool for me to be able to help model and do things simply without having the computer lag out. Layers also helps with not accidentally doing stuff. So if he's in my way here and I try to do something to the block, if I try to erase something or move it, I might accidentally erase him. So by using the layers, you can make it so that you have everything invisible but what you're really working on at the time, and it makes it a lot easier to see and do what you're trying to do, as well as it's a lot easier for your computer to render and model what's going on. It doesn't have all of the other things in the background that it's constantly redrawing every time you orbit or zoom in. So it's a lot easier on your computer, and it's a lot easier for you. Layers, they are awesome. Get in the habit of using them, and it'll make your life a lot easier. They're really simple. Plus to add them, if you're done with one, you can just hit minus. can also double click it and rename it. Minus, that will delete it. Just put move contents to default layer. Leave it on the default option. Hit OK. Your stuff doesn't get deleted. It just goes back to being on the same layer it started on. So you can make them, you can erase them. It won't change your model, but it'll make your life a lot easier. And that is layers.